I was in charge. I was deciding who gets initiated. I was receiving the letters. I was doing the fire yagya. I was giving the japas. 2 years in the movement, I was deciding about all the money which came in. Of course, not alone. Ishtagosti with other devotees together who were working there, just like Prabhupada taught us. Prabhupada taught us that any decent group of devotees, they should be able to come together and discuss things. How do we do it the way which will please our Guru and Krishna? The principles are easy to understand. So I was just a young kid and Prabhupada gave me so much authority. Later when I was in Brazil, Srila Prabhupada wrote me a letter. As far as Brazil is concerned, I am depending 99% on you. When I read that letter, I was 22. I was feeling like, no, I cannot believe that. So much trust my Guru has in me. So much trust. He bought me at that time. Just by writing this in his letter, he bought me. How can I feel about one person in this world trusts me so much? We have seen in religious institutions that people don't trust each other. But Prabhupada trusted us. Religious institutions, they have some strange agenda and they don't trust people. Often it happens to be seen that, like especially in Prabhupada's movement, we could see that after Prabhupada left, they wouldn't trust their godbrothers, senior devotees, to even go out and make a new temple and decide of who should be the spiritual guide there. While Prabhupada, he gave us all the freedom. One time Srila Prabhupada said to Hanuman, to one of his disciples, you can open a temple anywhere in the world you want, but under one condition, don't close it afterwards. Serious thing to open it, because then people need that temple. Then people start being devotees. People will be very unhappy if you close the temple after you started that service. So in this way, really an authority is such a delicate thing. You are an authority if you speak the truth. You're an authority if you're backed up by other authorities. You're an authority if you know how to reach people who you want to authoritatively instruct. You're an authority if you know what is love and trust. You're an authority if you're determined to continue faithfully to the instructions of your spiritual master. If you go on in this way, that's very, very good for you. You see, Prabhupada and Krishna, they want you to be an authority. It's necessary authority. We need a dentist, a good dentist when we have toothache. We need doctors, we need architects to build a house, or at least a good construction man who knows. Because if anybody builds a house with absolutely no experience, he make one of those big heavy walls, and then the slightest problem happens, the wall caves in, the roof caves in, and everybody dies inside. Sometimes it happens, you know. You hear a building collapses because they didn't construct it properly. So in this way, whenever there is some special advanced topic, you have to learn how to be the authority first. We need that authority. We are not against authority. We are only against authority when we are defending our ego things. Then we don't like that somebody tells us, oh, this is not good, you should do this different. That part we don't like. So the authority is a great relief at the moment of need. The authority is given by Krishna. Krishna is the Acharya. He's the supreme authority. And if anybody says anything, he has to prove it. That by Veda, Shastra, by Guru, and by Sadhu, this is true what he says. Plus, he has to allow the person to have his own free inner heart check-up. His inner judgment, that is called Chittete Koriya Aikya. Only after you have Guru, Shastra, Sadhu and your heart and they're all satisfied, then you can say you must do it. If then you still don't do it, then because you're nonsense. But if somebody says, oh, you should do it because I say it, this is just not enough. That's not the principle of Vedic authority. There must be much more praman. There must be much more proof to the fact. And really, our spiritual lineage is a lineage of love. Because everything we do is voluntarily. Of course, that makes us sometimes lazy. We shouldn't be lazy, but everything done in spiritual life in the line of Prabhupada is voluntarily. One time Prabhupada said that. I said you should send 50% of your collection to the BBT so we can print more books and do more things, and this he said. But he says, I'm just suggesting these things. They're all voluntarily. In the end, you have to do these things because you want to do them. So Prabhupada gives us principles, but we follow them because we want to follow them. Prabhupada makes us spiritual leaders of institutions or temples, but only if we follow him strictly by our heart. Otherwise, we're disqualifying ourselves. The spiritual master will never give a blank endorsement to you. You can go anywhere and do anything you want in my name, and even if it's all wrong, it doesn't matter. No. Spiritual master will never do so. Spiritual master will always tell you, teach according to the lines of conduct and the examples I have given you. So this is parampara. And the spiritual family should expand according to parampara. This will guide us, it will protect us. Authority should be something we should joyfully receive and joyfully celebrate and joyfully practice in our check-up system called Ishtagosti. And if we have any doubt in our authority, we should have a right to approach the authority and ask him humbly, please, what you just have said, my heart doesn't allow me to agree. Can you please help me? Can you please explain that better to me? I have the impression it's much better the other way around, or this or that, whatever is the case. And if the spiritual authority then is not ready to listen to you at all, he's not respecting you as an individual, and then it will be very difficult for you to accept him as an authority. Even authority may make a mistake. It's no problem if he's ready and capable of recognizing his mistake. Everybody makes mistakes. I mean, let's say, for example, Prabhupada sometimes accepted disciples who later turned out nonsense and created disturbance for the mission. So somebody could say, oh, Prabhupada, that was a mistake of yours. Why did you initiate that person? Couldn't you see that he was a nonsense? But the spiritual master, he's not working like that. He's trying to give Krishna's love to everybody, and therefore he also gave to him. So, and then if the spiritual master says, yes, it was a mistake, but we have to go on anyway, like one time they asked Prabhupada, why there are so many problems in your movement? Prabhupada looked very eyes open, said, problems in my movement? For every advancement, for every problem, we have 3 advancements. And another time, also talking about problems, Prabhupada said, problems means you're doing something. If there's no problem, it just means you're not doing anything. Therefore, you don't have any problems. So Prabhupada was always positive, always generous in it. I know it from my own case. I mean, I was sent to Brazil. I was only 4 years in the movement. And I was able to serve my spiritual master in separation all these years, because he trusts us. He gives us so